Hey, Helma, I thought that we would just continue from where we left off last
Mm-hmm.
time. Would that be okay with you?
Absolutely.
Okay, cool. Would you like to summarize for us what you remember?
What I remember. So we started off to that party in the winter suite because some colleague of mine had the idea that that would be extremely fun, and instead of a party, we found this laboratory-like environment with a lot of tubes with people in them, and it
Be
was
and they were being eaten from the inside, right? By
yeah, there
those.
were
Yeah.
some funny worms looking out at places where there shouldn't be looking out worms of humans.
Yeah.
And then
And didn't you put something in the chat? You said something like it wriggles.
yeah. I couldn't.
I laughed when I saw that. That was funny.
Yeah, but that's well, that was the overall impression. It wiggles.
Yeah, there were some wriggling going on. Yeah,
And I didn't
no
want
doubt.
to write something concrete because it's a design and progression, so difficult not to write too much. But I thought that would work.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway, that coworker of mine got panicked, and I think we ended up with me simply locking him in there.
Well, you beat him. You beat him senseless and tied him up, I think.
Oh,
something like that.
You are beating
I just
people
wanted to
senseless and tying them up.
I think I only pushed him away from the door and locked the door behind me from the outside. But
you didn't.
Details don't matter.
But didn't you tie him up? Because wasn't that Biot coming like to check?
No. No, that wasn't us.
That was some other ruthless person during the playtest.
Could be.
What do you know? No, I think I just locked him in because I didn't want him to run around and alarm people. And then I made my way to that storage area with the power drills or laser drills for mining because I wanted to equip myself with something weapon-like. Now we are talking, Ron. And there I met somebody. And I think, if I remember rightly, we kind of roundabout decided that we can trust each other somehow.
Okay.
Or at least a little bit, and that it would be meaningful to take over the ship.
Oh, so you recruited that guy. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay, I remember. And but hadn't you at least bluffed a buyout or something?
No, we didn't get that far. I think we broke there.
Okay, but so you hadn't actually met a buyout yet?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Okay. All right, sounds good. And so Ron's character, I figure that it would make sense for you to have your character to have a relationship, like he should be one of the friendly or a friend or something like that under your.
Yeah.
What name did you come up with, Ron?
We are talking about BCG 3519 series 075. I just want to live. Which led me to max out on drive with health of 2, the minimum.
Oh no!
And empathy 3. I have not chosen my plethora of relationships, beliefs, and attributes yet.
We could do it on the fly if you like.
Interestingly, to go in order anyway, a bit of a slob but serious.
Okay.
And admires a famous pirate. Now here's where everything clicks together. Small, sharp eyes and hollow cheeks, hazel eyes, bald, ebony skin, tattooed, big,
interesting,
and wiry. So one of these real tall, lanky.
Okay.
Oh my God, I'm in love with the guy.
Yeah. it's simple flowing clothes,
Okay.
and has ripple skin, so actually can change the way his skin looks too.
Right.
And now this is also kind of interesting. He's a researcher for a pharmaceutical company, Nome Santo, and I now have to choose among the backgrounds. I get to choose 3 of these 5 things that I rolled. To help me choose, I just want to let you know where I'm going with this. Clearly,
Sure.
this person is, deathly ill.
Okay.
And so is, that's where the, I just want to live comes from. And that's why he's a slob and wears just these simple clothes and, all that stuff.
Okay.
Is he's more interested in his skin than he is in clothes. So, the clothes just kind of put him on and off. And that's why he's got like these hollow cheeks. Then I'm trying to think. I don't want to make too much backstory out of this, but I think that I'm going to keep it simpler because there's so many things that crop up in those backgrounds. So I'm kind of like honing several of them into a point. And so he worked for a rival corp for 5 years. I haven't rolled for that, which corp it is. And local security is watching him twice. So I figure 1 from one corp and 1 from the current corp, right? That's and so
makes sense.
But the idea here is, I figure if he was a researcher in pharmaceuticals, he's already tried like all these bootleg ways of keeping himself alive.
Right.
And so now he's totally, he's being squeezed between the 2 security, IP security dudes.
Gotcha.
And also, of course, he admires this famous pirate. So, obviously he's been, helped by black market smuggling of, pharmaceutical stuff and related things. So he's way deep into that. He's deeper into that now. I chose not that he secretly works for a criminal group. I could have, but I decided not to. Right now, he's just still like being the researcher trying to stay alive.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at. Now again, I don't have all of these relationships and beliefs and attributes. That's 10 things to make up. So I'm a little stuck on that at the moment. But
yeah, we can just add it in on the fly. That's fine.
What I'm planning. Okay, now remind me again. Where am I and what am I doing?
Right. Did you were you able to hear what Helma was saying about the?
Sadly, my attempts to multitask failed completely.
Yes, it's for most people that happens. Yes. Well, why don't you say it again, Helma?
On repeat, no problem. So, a coworker. Okay. You don't know anything about my character, right?
Describe your character. Describe your character.
Yeah. Murik is, well, how to describe her? I just read it up. Has a chiseled face with smoky, deep-set, heavy-lidded eyes, framed by tangled hair. She's full-figured and leggy, with smooth, multicolored, bronzy skin. So it's kind of.
She walked into my office. After all these years in this business, I've never. I thought romance had died, but it walked into my office with multicolored skin and those amazing eyes. Okay, go ahead.
I like her. Okay. No, you didn't. You didn't let me talk to the point, but she usually dresses in harmonious ripple clothing that changes into eccentric, exotic shapes. Now you can melt in a puddle.
God,
but don't you have like an animated?
You got the wrong game here, Manu. You got a dating service game, is what you got.
Sudden change of focus.
I was gonna say
that's for design.
Forget about it. The girl is an engineer, so she's not that easy to handle.
No, I'm with you on this one. So I totally get that as well. So I don't know if you want to go through the descriptions because they're more for just how we play our characters. You don't have to explain them.
Nah, but
yeah,
she's flippant, and when needed, she can be diplomatic, and she admires her boss.
Ah, interesting.
But
Who does she work for?
Well, a criminal group, Golden Wedge.
Oh, wow.
I still wait on input on that one, Manu. I'd love to have a little bit more background about that group.
Oh, about what Golden Wedge does?
I'm pretty sure it isn't my boss on this ship I'm admiring.
Right. Oh, yeah.
And her motive is, I want to be free.
Uh-huh.
And I assume one of her relationships is going to be you.
Seems like it makes sense, yeah.
It would make sense.
No more than friendly, but friendly it is.
Yeah. What is your character's 3 initials?
I have a 3 on empathy, a 4 on drive, and a 3 on health.
Oh, that's not what I meant. I meant the 3 initials. The first 3 letters.
NRQ, Nurik for short.
Helma, Golden Wedge is basically a fleet of pirate ships.
Perfect.
There you go.
I will take
there you go.
ship.
It all comes together.
Now you made me happy.
Right. So the famous pirate that I admire is going to be a Golden Wedge.
Yeah, maybe it's her boss.
I mean, it's clearly
boss.
that's however tight we want to make it, but that's there.
That was more than perfect.
Good. All right. So the scenario started last time with it's the kind of thing I described during our consult sessions, Ron. With she and a colleague snuck into the winner's suite expecting a party, but instead they found these. The winners were all in these incubation chambers, and the larvae were eating them from inside, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And would you say what happened next, Helma?
The coworker panicked, and let's say I decided to leave them in that suit and close the door on them from the outside.
You left them in the winner suite?
The other player
left them in the winner suite.
Okay.
It's too late to do anything about that one. And then I went. Then I went to see if I can equip myself with something weapon-like, and I went for a storage locker with drills, laser drills for mining, where I met somebody, which was an NPC, but basically we could change that right now.
It could be Ron. You mean it could be Ron's character?
Doesn't have to.
Could be. It doesn't have to be.
We can go ahead. Anyway, we tried to figure out where we stand in connection to the ship. It's the biots and what's it called? Gosh, right. And life in general, and come up with the idea that we may be able to take over the ship. And that's where we stopped.